Value yourself first. Self-respect sets the standard for how others treat you. If you do not understand your own worth, no one else will. The world is not gentle with people who don't stand firm in who they are. If you make it clear through your actions, words, and choices that you do not value yourself, others will see it and take advantage of it. They will push, they will test, they will use you until there is nothing left. But the moment you draw a line in the sand, the moment you decide that you are not desperate for anyone's validation, the way people respond to you changes completely. Respect is not given freely. It is earned by how you carry yourself, and the first step is always self-respect. Think about it. People naturally follow the energy you project. If you carry yourself with dignity, if you know what you bring to the table, if you set a standard for how you allow yourself to be spoken to and treated, others feel it. They recognize the difference between someone who can be walked over and someone who cannot. And the truth is, people respect what they cannot easily manipulate. They respect what they cannot control. When you value yourself first, you train the world to treat you according to that value. Self-respect is not arrogance. It is not loud, it does not need to be broadcasted, and it does not mean looking down on others. Self-respect is quiet confidence. It is the unshakable understanding that you are worthy of being treated with dignity. It is refusing to beg for love, refusing to chase after attention, and refusing to lower your standards for temporary pleasure. It is choosing peace over chaos, dignity over desperation, and discipline over weakness. When you embody this kind of self-respect, you attract better relationships, better opportunities, and better energy. Too often, people compromise who they are just to be accepted. They settle for half love, they silence their voice to avoid conflict, and they tolerate behavior that deep down they know is wrong. Every time you allow that, you send a silent message, "This is how much I value myself." And the world listens. If you let people cross your boundaries without consequences, you teach them that your boundaries don't matter. If you stay in places where you are disrespected, you teach them that you will tolerate it. Respect doesn't start with others, it starts with you. Valuing yourself means walking away when necessary. It means being strong enough to say, "This does not serve me, this does not honor me, and I will not stay where I am not respected." Walking away is not weakness, it is power. Weakness is staying where your soul is being crushed because you fear being alone. Power is having the strength to step into the unknown because you know your value does not depend on someone else's approval. That is the kind of decision that makes people respect you even when they don't want to. There is something magnetic about someone who values themselves. They don't chase, they don't beg, and they don't try to prove their worth. Their presence alone demands a different level of attention. When you value yourself, you no longer need constant validation because you are secure within yourself. You no longer crave toxic love because you know you deserve something real. You no longer entertain disrespect because you know your peace is priceless. That kind of energy makes people treat you differently. They either rise to meet your standard or they fall out of your life. Either way, you win. Understand this. People only treat you as badly as you allow them to. If you allow someone to disrespect you once, they will do it again. If you excuse bad behavior, it will become a habit. But if you set the tone from the beginning, if you make it clear that you will not tolerate less than what you deserve, you set a standard that forces people to either respect you or lose access to you. That's the power of valuing yourself first. Self-respect also builds trust with yourself. Every time you honor your boundaries, every time you choose discipline over weakness, every time you say no to things that don't align with your values, you strengthen your relationship with yourself. And when you trust yourself, you walk differently, you speak differently, you live differently. You become someone who cannot be easily swayed because you know exactly who you are and what you deserve. That level of self-respect makes you unshakable, and people sense it immediately. When you value yourself, you stop giving your energy to people who drain you. You stop over-explaining to those who don't want to understand. You stop fighting for a seat at tables where you're not appreciated. Instead, you start building your own table. You start focusing your energy on growth, on peace, on building a life that reflects your worth. And in doing so, you attract the right people. People who see your value without you having to beg for it. People who add to your life instead of subtracting from it. People who respect you because you respect yourself. Valuing yourself first is not just about relationships. It applies to every area of life. In your career, if you undervalue yourself, you will stay underpaid, underappreciated, and overlooked. But when you know your worth, you demand more. Not through arrogance, but through the undeniable truth of your skills, discipline, and consistency. In friendships, if you don't value yourself, you'll surround yourself with people who gossip, betray, and drain you. But when you set a higher standard, you naturally draw people who are loyal, supportive, and uplifting. Even in family dynamics, self-respect is crucial. It teaches others that even love cannot be used as an excuse to mistreat you. Life becomes easier when you value yourself first. You no longer feel the need to chase what doesn't belong to you. You no longer break yourself just to fit into spaces that are too small for you. You no longer beg for scraps of love when you deserve the whole feast. Instead, you move with calmness because you know that the right people, the right opportunities, and the right experiences will align with your value. So remember this truth. The standard for how others treat you is not set by them. It is set by you. You teach the world how to treat you through the way you treat yourself. If you honor yourself, others will honor you. If you disrespect yourself, others will follow that pattern. That is why the greatest investment you can ever make is in your own self-respect. It is the foundation of every relationship, every opportunity, and every experience in your life. Respect is not requested. It is commanded by the energy you carry, and that energy starts from within. When you value yourself first, the world has no choice but to value you too. Boundaries are power. Never compromise them for temporary affection. The strength of your character is tested not when everything is easy, but when you are tempted to accept less than you deserve because you crave love, validation, or company. The truth is, affection without respect is poison. Attention without consistency is manipulation. Love without boundaries is slavery. If you bend your standards just to keep someone close, you do not gain their love. You lose your dignity, and once dignity is gone, everything else follows. Real strength is not in how much you can endure from others. It is in how much you refuse to tolerate when it goes against your self-worth. Boundaries are not walls that isolate you. They are the framework that defines how you deserve to be treated. They are not selfish, they are necessary. They protect your peace, your time, your energy, and your heart. Without them, you invite chaos, disrespect, and pain into your life. People respect what you respect. If you respect yourself enough to say no, when something violates your values, you instantly command more respect. But if you keep bending, if you keep saying yes to things that break you, others will never take you seriously. Boundaries are your declaration to the world that you know who you are and what you stand for. The danger of compromising boundaries is that once you allow someone to cross them, it rarely stops at just one time. Disrespect grows. What begins as a small compromise, accepting lateness, tolerating dismissive words, ignoring broken promises, quickly becomes a cycle of bigger betrayals. And the saddest part is, the more you allow it, the harder it becomes to walk away. You start convincing yourself that maybe it's not so bad, or maybe this is just how love works. But deep inside, you know the truth. Every compromise chips away at your self-respect until you forget what it feels like to be truly valued. Temporary affection is one of the greatest traps. It feels good in the moment. It gives you the illusion of being wanted, desired, or needed. but the cost is too high when it comes at the expense of your dignity. What is the point of someone holding you at night if they disrespect you in the morning? What is the point of sweet words if their actions destroy your peace? Temporary affection is like a drug. It gives a quick rush but leaves you emptier each time. And the more you compromise your boundaries to keep it, the more you weaken yourself. The strongest people are not those who cling to toxic love, but those who walk away from it without hesitation. Boundaries are also a test of authenticity. People who truly care for you will respect your boundaries. They will not mock them, they will not guilt, trip you for them, and they will not try to break them. Instead, they will honor them because they honor you. On the other hand, people who only want to use you will be frustrated by your boundaries. They will push, they will manipulate, they will make you feel guilty. That reaction alone reveals their true intentions. Boundaries are powerful because they expose who belongs in your life and who doesn't. One of the greatest mistakes people make is thinking that having boundaries means losing people. The truth is, boundaries don't make you lose anyone real. They only remove those who were never truly there for you. The people who leave when you enforce your standards were never planning to respect you anyway. Their affection was conditional, temporary, and selfish. By keeping your boundaries, you are not losing, you are winning. You are making space for those who will respect, honor, and love you without trying to break you down. It takes courage to enforce boundaries. Saying no is not easy, especially when you fear losing someone you care about. But what is the point of keeping someone who only stays because you let them disrespect you? That is not love. That is weakness disguised as love. Boundaries require strength because they often demand sacrifice. You might lose relationships, you might be misunderstood, you might feel lonely for a while. But the loneliness that comes from keeping your dignity is far better than the company that comes from losing it. Understand this. Boundaries don't push away the right people, they push away the wrong ones. If someone walks away because you refuse to compromise your values, then they were never worthy of you. If someone truly loves you, they will respect your boundaries even when they don't fully understand them. That's how you separate love from manipulation, commitment from convenience, truth from illusion. Boundaries also build trust in yourself. Every time you enforce a boundary, you prove to yourself that you can be relied upon to protect your own peace. That builds self-confidence. When you keep compromising for others, you start resenting yourself. You look in the mirror and feel disappointed because you know you allowed disrespect. But when you stand firm, you feel stronger each time. And that strength radiates, people see it, feel it, and treat you differently. You stop attracting those who want to use you, and you start attracting those who value you. Temporary affection is always a cheap trade for permanent respect. Do not fall for it. Do not let loneliness or fear convince you that a little attention is worth your dignity. Real love, real respect, real connection. They all require boundaries. They cannot exist in their pure form if you are constantly compromising who you are just to keep someone close. Boundaries are the foundation of self-respect, and self-respect is the foundation of lasting love. The power of boundaries is that they free you. They free you from emotional slavery, from toxic cycles, from disrespect disguised as love. They teach people how to treat you, and they protect you from ever forgetting your own worth. Boundaries are not meant to keep people out. They are meant to allow the right people in. People who respect you, people who uplift you, people who will never force you to break yourself in order to keep their affection. So never compromise your boundaries for temporary affection. The price is too high. Affection fades, but self-respect stays. Choose dignity over desperation. Choose peace over chaos. Choose strength over weakness. Boundaries are your shield, your power, and your proof that you value yourself enough to never settle for less. The right people will love you within your boundaries, not beyond them. And those who cannot respect them do not deserve you at all confidence without desperation. makes you unforgettable and irreplaceable. The way you carry yourself determines how the world receives you, and the truth is, people can sense the difference between confidence and neediness instantly. Confidence is quiet strength. It is the calmness in your voice, the steadiness in your actions, and the way you know your worth without needing to announce it. Desperation, on the other hand, is loud. It clings, it begs, it proves, it chases. And nothing kills respect faster than desperation. When you move with confidence, but without the hunger for validation, you become someone who lingers in the mind long after you're gone. You are not forgotten because you are not replaceable. Think of the most magnetic people you've ever encountered. They didn't chase attention. It followed them. They didn't demand respect. It flowed to them naturally. That's the power of true confidence. It is not arrogance. It is not shouting. It is not trying to prove superiority. Confidence is knowing who you are and never lowering your value for temporary approval. It is standing firm even when others doubt you. It is choosing patience when others rush. It is walking away when others beg you to stay. That kind of presence leaves a mark. It makes people remember you, respect you, and in many cases envy the strength you carry so effortlessly. Desperation is dangerous because it signals weakness. When you show someone you need them more than you need your own self-respect, they stop respecting you. When you prove through your actions that you'll do anything to keep someone around, they realize they hold all the power. And people rarely respect what they can control. The moment you show you're willing to sacrifice your dignity for attention, you become forgettable because you've proven you can be replaced. There is nothing rare about someone who will accept anything. Rarity comes from confidence, the ability to be wanted but not dependent, admired but not desperate. Confidence without desperation creates a different energy around you. You no longer beg to be seen because your presence demands attention without asking. You no longer compete for affection because your aura communicates that you are the prize. You no longer fear loss because you know your value does not decrease when someone walks away. This is what makes you unforgettable. People remember those who do not need them but choose them. They remember those who are strong enough to walk alone but still powerful enough to connect deeply. They remember those who did not sell their dignity for a moment of attention. The secret to being irreplaceable is to make it clear that you are whole by yourself. You do not wait for someone else to complete you. You are complete already. You do not sit around hoping for someone to validate you. You validate yourself. You do not crumble if someone leaves. You rise even higher. This kind of independence wrapped in confidence makes people realize they cannot easily duplicate you. There are many who are beautiful, many who are charming, many who are intelligent, but there are very few who are confident without desperation. That balance is rare, and rarity is always valued. Confidence also gives you control over how you respond to rejection, failure, or loss. Desperate people collapse when they are not chosen. Confident people understand that rejection is simply redirection. Desperate people cling tighter when they sense someone slipping away. Confident people let go, knowing that what is meant for them will never require begging. Desperate people fear being alone. Confident people understand that solitude is a space of strength, not weakness. This is why confident people are never forgotten. They leave behind an impression of dignity that cannot be ignored. The world tests you every day to see if you will compromise your value for comfort. When you resist desperation, you rise above those tests. For example, in relationships, if you constantly chase after someone, they will tire of you. But if you carry yourself with confidence, if you make it clear you value yourself enough not to beg, they are forced to value you differently. In careers, if you undersell yourself because you're desperate for opportunities, people will always underpay and underappreciate you. But if you confidently know your worth and refuse to settle, opportunities of higher value will seek you out. Even in friendships, desperation to be included makes you forgettable, but confidence to stand alone when necessary makes you magnetic. Being unforgettable is not about forcing yourself into people's minds. It's about leaving behind an impression that cannot be erased. And that impression comes from the strength of your presence, not the volume of your desperation. People remember those who carry themselves with dignity, who maintain calm under pressure, who are not swayed by flattery or fear. They remember those who don't need constant reassurance, but instead project reassurance to others. Confidence is attractive because it is rare, and without desperation, it becomes unshakable. You must also understand that confidence is built, not borrowed. It comes from discipline, self-respect, and the choices you make daily. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, every time you hold your standards, every time you walk away from what doesn't honor you, your confidence grows. And as it grows, your desperation fades. Confidence is not just an attitude. It is evidence of how deeply you respect yourself. People see it, they feel it, and they respond to it. That's why the confident are unforgettable. They don't just speak confidence, they live it. To be irreplaceable, you must stop proving yourself and start being yourself. Desperate people mold themselves into whatever others want, but confident people stand firm in their identity. Desperate people chase approval, but confident people attract respect. Desperate people break themselves to fit in, but confident people walk in such strength that others want to fit into their world. That difference is what makes one person forgettable and another unforgettable. In the end, confidence without desperation is freedom. Freedom from needing constant attention, freedom from fearing rejection, freedom from selling your dignity for validation. With that freedom comes power. The power to walk into any room knowing you belong there. The power to stand firm in any relationship without begging. The power to live in such strength that people cannot help but remember you. That is what makes you unforgettable. That is what makes you irreplaceable. Because when desperation fades, true confidence shines. And when true confidence shines, it burns itself into the memory of everyone who crosses your path. They may forget your words, they may forget your face, but they will never forget the way you carried yourself, with dignity, strength, and unshakable self-respect. That is the mark of someone who can never be replaced. In the end, everything comes back to one truth. The way you value yourself sets the tone for the way the world values you. If you respect yourself, others will respect you. If you honor your boundaries, others will honor them. If you move with confidence instead of desperation, you become unforgettable and irreplaceable. Life will test you, people will tempt you, and moments of weakness will whisper that settling is easier than standing firm. But easy paths never lead to powerful lives. You are not meant to be average, you are not meant to be replaceable. You are meant to walk with a strength that demands respect. When you value yourself, when you refuse to compromise your boundaries for temporary affection, and when you live with unshakable confidence, you create a legacy that no one can erase. People may forget what you said, people may forget what you gave, but they will never forget how you carried yourself, with dignity, with strength, and with a presence that cannot be replaced. This is the formula for respect, for love that lasts, and for a life that matters. Never trade your worth for attention, because your worth is the very thing that makes you unforgettable.